Out of all the arcs I watched in One Piece so far, Logtown arc was the strangest. It wasn't emotional like Arlong Park. It wasn't goofy like the rest of the East Blue saga. It was just eerie, you could say. And my intuition was right. Out of nowhere, everything goes left. Random chaos, a marine that's basically untouchable, and then this guy. The one who changed the entire outlook of the show just by a few seconds. But let's start where we left off, alright? Luffy gets hit with his first bounty, 30 million berries, making him the highest bounty in the East Blue. We see the crew's reaction of Luffy's bounty poster. Zoro, he kind of expected it. Sanji, jealous. Usopp, he acting like he contributed any part of it. Okay, alright, let me stop hitting the Usopp, I'm sorry. But I think the most important reaction we see is Shanks. And Mihawk is the one who delivered that news. So either Shanks has mob level leadership, he knows Mihawk personally, or he's up there in combat with him. Either way, Shanks is something, I don't know. Anyways, this is the first time the Marines are starting to realize, okay, Luffy is a problem. And with that energy, we pull up to Loguetown, the place where every East Blue resident has to cross in order to pass the Grand Line. But you also had to pass through some smoke first. I don't know why I include that in the script. I guess I thought that was code, I don't know. The crew lands on the island and immediately splits up with different goals in mind. Luffy, he wanders off to see the King of the Pirates execution spot. Zoro, he's looking for some swords. Sanji, he's buying some food. And Usopp is getting some new gear. Meanwhile, lurking around the corner are two ops I did not expect to see this early. Or at all, honestly. Buggy and Alvida. Yes! These two could not let go of that humiliation, so they had to run it back, and since Luffy's popularity is growing, it wasn't that hard to find him. Back to the crew, Zoro walks into the shop, to get his two new swords. Long story short, Zoro ends up with two good swords without paying a dime. One being a supposed cursed sword because whoever wields this ends up dying mysteriously. And just to prove Zoro is different, he threw the sword in the air and let fate decide if he's worthy or not. Like I said before, Zoro is crazy. And of course, it didn't hit him. And as I said before, this arc was pretty chill. Sanji, he got himself a big old fish. Usopp, I think he got some new goggles if I'm not mistaken. Back to Luffy, he's walking around town, no thoughts in the world, smiling, just enjoying life, completely unaware that Belvita and Buggy are just spying on him, waiting like prey. And this whole time, a Marine called Smoker has been keeping an eye on him too. This man Smoker is not your typical Marine. He's calm, confident, and I could tell off the jump this dude was gonna be strong. Do you guys see what I'm saying though? Everything in this arc, it felt like something was building up, but you never knew when it was gonna happen. Fast forward, eventually, Luffy ends up right where the King of the Pirates died, like he wanted. And since Luffy was so eager to see the King of the Pirates, Buggy was gonna take it a step forward by sending him to the place he's at. Buggy give me like Home Alone vibes, like I can't take him serious. And now since we're on the topic of the King of the Pirates, there's another iconic scene. I'll just play it right here.
Hey! Pirate King! Tell us where in the hell you've hidden all of your treasure! Is it in the Grand Line or someplace else? You found it, didn't you? The One Piece!
Now, I didn't record my reaction, but that was cool because I definitely heard this somewhere. It's just cool seeing this like firsthand. But back to the point. The second Luffy is up there, tied down, that eerie feeling in my stomach finally clicks. The whole weather, out of a few seconds, changes from light blue to grape color Kool-Aid. It made no sense. Luffy knew he was about to die. He wasn't scared. He didn't beg. He didn't cry. He didn't even fight it for real. He just came to an acceptance. At this point, I was like, okay, what the freak is happening? I literally had to pause this, check on Google, just to be sure that these episodes I'm on are not filler. But the more serious the tone got, and seeing this mysterious cloaked guy on top of that out of nowhere, there's no way this was filler. But back to Luffy, he's safe because he's rubber, he didn't get electrocuted. But Luffy wasn't free yet, because now he was getting into a scuffle with Smoker, which I think is the first Devil Fruit Marine we've seen so far. He finally reveals his powers, the Smoke Fruit, giving him the power to create, control, transform into smoke at will. As I said before in my previous video, actually, most of the Marines that we've encountered so far were nutty. But I actually kind of like Smoker. He was cool. He had like a Nanami attitude. Get the job done, go back to stacking his rocks, and that was it. And on top of that, he knows how to actually throw down. Luffy had nothing for him. This is probably the first time I've seen Luffy get dominated in a fight so far. And had it not been for this mysterious guy stopping Smoker, Luffy would have had his head cut off. But before turning this whole thing upside down, quite literally, this mysterious dude, he made a strange statement. The world is waiting for our answer. Is that not weird? And then, right after he said those words, everything went green. This powerful wind came out of nowhere. Try to make that effect. Just make some wind, I don't know. This powerful wind came out of nowhere. It teared through everything, picking up the Marines, picking up Alvida and Buggy. Even Luffy and Smoker get swept into it. And just as quickly as it came, it mysteriously just fades away. And then the weather somewhat goes back to normal. When Luffy got back on his feet, I realized he got dropped right at his crew. Zoro, Sanji, Nami, Usopp, they're all there in the same spot. So, okay, whatever happened was super sus. We can agree to that. Luffy, he didn't even know who that guy was because his face was like pinned to the ground. But one thing is clear, he made sure Luffy and his crew were safe. What's even stranger is that Smoker recognizes him. This isn't just some random man, it's a highly wanted man, Dragon. Anyways, the crew regroups, they board going merry, and they finally escape Loguetown. Up ahead is the Grand Line, and the whole crew can't help but smile. Each one of them props their foot at the table to clarify their dream, and they cheer to the Grand Line. Man, that made me want to throw my leg in the air. Can I even do that? Y'all can't see it. Bro, how are y'all not seeing that?
Hey, let me tell you something. Sit your bean head ass.
And that makes an end to my very first saga. East Blue is done. And now I've got, what, 1,000 episodes left? Give me an estimate. When y'all think I'm gonna catch up? It's definitely gonna take a year or two probably. But I'm going arc by arc, saga by saga. I'm taking my sweet time and I'm breaking down everything as I go. Quality over quantity. At least that's my mindset right now. But One Piece being too long, that's obviously not a problem. If anything, that's good because I see myself watching another 200 episodes of this. So I can scratch that off my bias list. But we'll have to see. Hold on. Because I heard the pacing is unbearable. I might skip a few episodes. But if you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead, subscribe, click that like button, share it with your friends. And I guess since I finished the first saga, I can answer this question. Did I like One Piece? Do I really have to answer that? Alabasta Saga, coming soon. Alabasta? Alright guys, this is me in the future, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this arc, this entire saga. There's a lot I plan to bring to this channel, alright? Seeing the amount of support and the amount of positivity in the comments really got me going, okay? Because, you know, a little more background on me. I'm a YouTuber, alright? I actually have a gaming channel with like 10,000 subscribers. Not doing too shabby, but yada yada. But I love to create. I love to do this. I love to edit. I love anime. And that's what I want to do. You know, I really want to make this go somewhere. As I said before, there is so much more I want to do. Soon, I plan on releasing anime reactions. One Piece, Jujutsu Kaisen, Vinland Saga, what other, Chainsaw Man, you know, all of those goodies. These are animes I plan to get to, you know, this is a reaction channel. Maybe some movies and shows, you know, I'm not all the way sure. But the point is, I have a lot in store for this channel, and I'm excited to show you guys all of the work I'm doing. With that being said, if you would like to support my channel, if you would like to support me, I do have a Patreon. I just released it. $1 a month. So if you want to show your support, $1 a month, grab me a bag of chips real quick, that would greatly be appreciated. And that's just the beginning for my Patreon. Soon I plan on releasing with another tier, which will basically be my uncut reactions, no editing on it. It's just me reacting to it, and a lot more reaction videos on that tier, and a lot more on that. But as I said before, I appreciate you guys, and thank you. See you guys in the next one.